part of the team, and that remains so. But now with the new members that they've added on the team, it's not just the bot lane role that is impactful in the team.
Gonna find it, but too much damage is coming through as Sadis is popping off and putting them down, as everyone's gonna be found into the ground with a triple kill being picked up for the side of Sadis.
The strengths on Pentakill Teemo, please, are obviously Graviel, who is a big playmaker for this team, but you also can't count out the pressure that Let's Do Vanal has as a reliable carry.
We've got Let's Do Vanal and Graviel, who've been around since the beginning. To be fair, there's a lot of returning players across the board.
Live. Here comes Vanal to the back line, but it's Stove who does take him down. Everyone's dying, and it's PTP walking away with their bars still blue, not black like the enemy team, and that's going to be the dragon for them as well.
Well, INT's biggest strength is something a little odd to describe. Obviously, cohesion is one, but they play it when they do go in for fights. They are very committal. They all will commit to things. If they're going to they're either going to all die and get aced, or they're going to be able to turn it around and find avenues to win where other teams sometimes wouldn't. It's something that UB is also very strong at. So I think that's one of INT's strongest aspect. He hammer smashes by himself. All the damage is coming out. He's trying to pick it up. This he's doing everything. This Kog'Maw's too big, and Kenny is gonna find the quadra kill.
RLS are a real problem if you give them the picks that they want and you let them play their game. They are very, very solid. They play together a lot. They have great synergy as a team. They're very confident when they're given those disgusting picks that they are so strong on. So we'll just have to see whether they are given that space to be the kind of monsters that we know they are.
The goalie is out, the E is missed, he doesn't care, he's running in, and he's gonna take it. Anti with the TP!
Takes out, this might come through with 80 health. Exhaust, this is just insane. Well played, Anti, well played, War Leader.
I rank Rex in first. Even if they're not the greatest at micro, let's say they're second or third in micro, it doesn't matter if your macro is by far better than everyone. You don't have to be good at micro. You're just going to beat teams rotating around the map, taking objectives, and then just getting them running in circles.
The Mumu, we see a Mumu try to farm. Oh my god, wait, hold that thought.
Zen landing these bubbles amazingly. I don't think he had vision of that specifically, only vision of Annie walking in that general direction.
Not able to find it. Zen's getting exploded by the Jin, and there we go. This is the Terracotta combo that is becoming absolutely deadly as they just rip right through Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Terracotta Gaming has been one of those sort of underdog teams coming in. These 5 players have shown great performances throughout, and locking in at number 1 of Helios, I would have to say this team can definitely do work.
Hello everyone and welcome back to FOF Esports. I am Zane Zen Nelson, a fresh voice for these quarterfinal matches in the Helios League, and joining me is the ever lovely Lolo. I cannot wait to get started. This is looking like an exciting game.
I'm super excited as well, Zen. This is going to be a very exciting series. These teams have actually never played before, at least in the season so far. There's only been FFs from PTP both times in these two teams as matchups, so it's a lot of new stuff to consider here, and there's quite a few things I think as we go into the draft that we should be bringing to the table already as we go into the start of this best of 5. Firstly, to note that PTP had to unfortunately forfeit game 1 because of roster issues, but they have managed to bring a roster together for this game 2. However, it's not the roster that we were expecting to see from the outset, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Carrots taking up the top lane role for PTP, going to have a tall order facing off against Brock Lee in the top side, as well as Solvarden getting his spot once again on support. In the trees, also of note, playing not their main roster tonight, they have Fish Magish subbing into the bottom lane. And so I'm very interested to see how these rosters sort of clash against one another when they're dealing with this new thing. And we already see right off the bat, Yuumi going to be locked in for In the Trees. That is a big win for Jeffa's Champions pool.
Absolutely. The cat has just risen in priority, as we've seen in Worlds and just competitive play in general over the past week. I think it provides so much utility to so many different comps, particularly as we see a lot more carries in the jungle at the moment. Just allowing that level of versatility in the way you want to play your composition, and allowing the bot lane to be a lot more autonomous, I would say, which I think works well for a lot of ADCs that are a high priority at the moment. However, it does look like PTP are going to be playing quite an aggressive bot lane comp. We did see, as you said, the Tristana being locked in first. That's a very solid comfort pick for Vayner, coupled with the Nautilus, of course, providing a lot of early kill threat. I think that Fish, Magish, and Jeffers are going to have to be pretty careful with the way they play this bot side. But so far, I think it does look like from the bans that they are trying to make the top lane matchup as easy as possible for Carrots, who traditionally is not a top laner, prefers to go, I think, in the mid role. So we'll have to see how that matchup. That's going to be one to have a look at, I think, because it will be quite a tricky one for Carrots to navigate.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the way that Pentacle Team Please has been drafting right here. And you can see as well, continuing to put pressure on Broccoli's champion pool, taking away the Wukong, taking away that sort of team fight power. But, you know, immediately having this strong response to the Yuumi, seeing that this Misfortune and Yuumi are perhaps vulnerable in the bottom lane, slamming Olaf to be able to walk through the Yuumi ultimate, and the Nautilus immediately after means that this is going to be an explosive game, particularly in the bottom lane, if nothing else.
Absolutely, and from then on, we are going to see a directive towards the mid lane bans for INT, wanting to try to minimize Godex Anime's choices, who we've seen before is in the support role. So this also is a bit of an off-role setup with the team so far. So the solo lanes in particular are going to be ones which I think are going to be definitely new faces for both sides, even though these teams have never played before. And it'll be interesting to see. We do see a cheeky little Yorick hover there for the side of INT. Of course, that is Maiden OP's one trick, who has been the top laner primarily for PTP in the past. But we are going to see the set locked in first and foremost here. Very strong pick still. It does provide just quite a very easy lane. There aren't too many counter picks to it that I think PTP would want to pull out, particularly things that Carrots might be comfortable on. And we are going to see a Tahm Kenshin return. I think this is a very bold pick if this is going up into the top side against both a Trundle and a Set.
Yeah, I think that PTP is trying to look for comfort. Carrots has had to sub in for this team on occasion, and in an earlier FOF match during the regular season, he did play that Tahm Kench top lane. So I'm expecting that to be sort of a comfort pick for a player who's been sort of moved to a role that they're maybe less comfortable in. But as you say, against the Trundle and the Set might be very dangerous. And we see a Silas for God X Anime. Oh man, he has some good choice ultimates available to him already from In the Trees. This is exciting.
Absolutely, a lot of those. I mean, all of the ultimates already on the side of INT. The bullet time, the last chapter, the subjugate, the showstopper, everything. And the response is a Kassadin for Evolved Noob. That is, again, a lot of confidence being shown by both of these teams, because Evolved Noob, he is going to be picking the Kassadin, which traditionally obviously is a scaling pick, which isn't going to flourish too heavily in the early game, against a lane bully like the Silas, who's looking to take a lot of trades, expend his health bar and try to, put a lot of pressure on his opponent early in lane. This is one which I think Evolved thinks he's got the upper hand of versus an opponent who is off roll. So it will be very exciting to see how Godex Anime takes this on, because Silas is not the kind of pick I think you would take if you're not feeling confident on the role itself. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to pan out. This is definitely going to be a pretty explosive matchup from both sides.
Yeah, and new and exciting stuff sort of being shown here. Evolved Noob, traditionally sort of a mage player, really well known for his Vel'Koz, or excuse me, not his Vel'Koz, his Victor and his Orianna and his Azir throughout the tournament. So to see him sort of branch out and start to play Kassadin, the scaling monster of a champion, and being attached to a Yuumi as well, I think that In the Trees has drafted a very strong composition for themselves, and I think PTP is going to have to work quite hard to overcome the challenge. They're definitely the underdogs in this game.
Yes, absolutely. And I would agree with you on that as we head on to the Rift nice and quick. I would say that on the flip side, PTP having a very strong early game, particularly in the bot lane and in the jungle. So if they can try to get a snowball lead down on the bot side, I think that is definitely going to be the point of contention here. Of course, Godix Anime having quite a good matchup early on in the mid lane as well. So there's a lot of potential for Graviel to be playing around here, as we do see some immediate pressure up here on the top side, getting some early vision down into that tri-brush. And Graviel, he's been playing a lot more jungle recently. Of course, we've seen him previously in FOF as a mid laner, but he has been playing the jungle role in the Lunar League for COF, and it does look like he is making quite a conscious decision to be pushing himself into the jungle role. So he's got a lot of his work cut out for him in this, but I think he's got a lot of potential to make things happen for his team early on.
Yeah, completely agree. And my eyes are also directed directly towards that jungle matchup. Bo Explode, by far, the most notorious jungler in Helios, has, I believe, in the regular season, a 70% kill participation for his team.
Wow.
The highest in the league, following actually PTP's Cyborg Skull, who is also not present here in this match. And it looks like both junglers are choosing to start on opposite sides of the map, so we aren't going to see that sort of explosive battle between them just yet, but my eyes are glued to the screen to watch these two champions sort of duke it out together.
Absolutely. And at the moment, we are seeing... I think we have to point something out here. Of course, it is actually Broccoli
The hook is going to land, but not a whole lot of trading going on.
No, he does manage to proc too much of that Halo Blades right there, the Tristana. Just getting the E down, but without the Q learned at level 1, there's not too much damage that you can pump out just quite yet. So with the Yuumi, I mean, they're going to have the sustain in that early lane, and unless they can... Well, as I say that...
Yeah, they hit the level 2, and Let's Do Vayno hopping straight in. Not afraid at all to do some aggression with a support who they have played a little bit less with, and getting a good chunk of damage. Jeffaz has to burn the exhaust, and Brock Lee's flash is going to be down as Olaf is pathing down to the bottom half of the map. So there's a big trade here as well in mid lane. Godx Anime taking the worst side of that trade, is going to be hurting for a little bit until he can heal back up.
Yeah, I mean, Kasten, of course, traditionally a late-game champion, but when he's got the Electrocute, then you have to be careful of taking these trades. The Silas running the Conqueror, of course, isn't going to be quite as explosive early on, looking for more of those sustained fights, and that's going to force an early base for Godx Anime. He does have TP, so it's not, it's not the end of the world, even though it is going to allow Evolve Noob to get the shove, as we see more aggressive trades coming out in the top side, and this is also definitely going the way of Fish Magish.
This Soul Varden with a fantastic roam up. The flash forward into the knockup will stun them up, and that is first blood for PTP, even on the Olaf. Exactly what they're looking for out of this early game.
Absolutely, and that's just going to give Graviel more opportunity to work his way around the map and put a lot of pressure onto Bo Explode here. They are going to get themselves a crab down here in the bot side, and I mean, Broccoli and Jeffos right now are definitely going to have to sit glued to their tower here, because with the Olaf roaming down, they're going to have to be very careful. They haven't spotted him just yet, but yeah, Graviel already looking to put pressure, trying to get himself an invade onto the enemy Krugs.
Yeah, Bo Explode, of course, a seasoned jungler here will also go ahead and recognize that with his Olaf in the bottom lane, he's going to go ahead and go into the topside jungle, take away the Gromp for himself. But a really promising start for PTP here. Getting that early kill, getting that flash off of Brock Lee early on is especially very important, because this makes this Yuumi lane very vulnerable to future attempts. We are going to see, however, Graviel just going to go ahead and go to reset and spend all of that big money and decide where he wants to head out next. But actually, on the map, here comes Godx Enemy trying to make a roam into the bottom lane. As we see a little bit of trade up top, but the hook is not going to land. Godx Enemy is still going to go for this. Manages to land the stun, and Brock Lee is completely in trouble. He's going to go down. Bo Explode now has arrived. Jeffa's maybe trying to make a turnaround, but no. PTP playing this early game so well.
Yeah, they really are. They're being a lot more proactive on the map thus far. We're seeing not nearly as much response at all from the side of INT at the moment. They're really sitting glued to their lanes, and I mean, with the Kasten not able to roam and match that great roam down there from Godx Anime, that's going to pick up just yet more kills, and it's going to put some well, extra gold onto the Tristana, which is exactly what this composition wants early on.
Yeah, and look at this. They're trying to set up for another play in mid lane. It does look like INT is going to spot it out and just be able to walk away. But, you know, PTP with this composition, they really need to get ahead in the early game because they have, you know, pushing lanes in mid and in bottom. So they're doing their best to take care of things there. It does look like Bo Explode is going to be able to sneak away this dragon, though, all by himself because he happens to know that Graviel is up on the top side, thanks to the spot.
Yeah, Solvan is going to spot this out, but I think with the tempo advantage that INT have after that initial play, they are going to try to take this, though. This is...
Yeah, this is nuts. Let's do Vadal. They're going to get the kill. He smites. He doesn't have enough. And PTP walking away with a massive victory.
That is absolutely illegal, what I just witnessed. That, with all of the prio that this bot Geo have, they've literally just managed to go and deny the jungler on their own. Graviel is sitting up there invading the top side now. This is all going PTP's way thus far. They've already picked themselves up a 1.5k gold lead, or just about, and with Carrots getting himself some prio up there in the top side as well, Graviel has free reign of the map with all of his lanes getting the push.
Yeah, and look at the aggression from Let's Do Vanal. They know that they want to push their lead as quick as they can, as though Bo Explode hops over the wall with the Blast Cone. Teleport coming down as well. Evolve Noob trying to make this play hope, and the flash forward. Let's Do Vanal going to fall. The follow-up teleport, though, from Godix Enemy is trying to kill the Yuumi. Will pick up the cat. Solvarden about to fall, and this is going to be a huge win if they can secure this kill on Godix Enemy. INT fighting back hard, and that's going to be a triple kill for this Kassadin.
Oh my goodness, and suddenly it was definitely going PTP's way, but after that you've just given Evolve Noob everything he needs to put himself well back into this game. It's now going to be difficult, even with the TP expended from Godix Anime picking himself up a kill. It just... Evolve Noob now, he's got himself the Lost Chapter online, he's got a tier with all of that mana sustain as well. It's going to be really difficult now for Godix Anime to take trades, and whilst he was able to get the push and roam before, I think he's going to have his work cut out with him in the mid lane now to match this Kassadin and be able to roam like he was doing previously, particularly without that TP.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how big it is that those kills went to Kassadin specifically. This is INT's win condition. They need Evolve Noob to be strong, because for what PTP has drafted, they don't really have a good play for this. Great ultimate out of Fish Magish to just walk away from that gank. Evolve Noob now trying to come in here, but I think he's just going to have to walk away. But big wins for INT to even up this game.
Yes, it's interesting that, I mean, a good play from Evolve Noob. Now he has the push to be able to roam around the map. I mean, you notice, of course, that now he's accelerated down here in the mid lane, as we do see a lot of pressure put onto Vanal now, as we can see Solvan already roaming up to make sure to put insurance down on this first Herald for the side of PTP. It is... Yes, I'm surprised that he was going for the roam now, but very proactive from him now that, you know, the Silas obviously isn't able to match him in lane after he's gotten so many kills for himself. So instead, they are going to try to prioritize neutral objectives on the map, hit themselves up a Herald. I'll be interested to see where they put this, because none of their lanes, whilst having managed to get some relatively successful roams early on, there hasn't been too much pressure on anyone. I think it's likely they'll put it into the mid and bot, leaving Carrots happily there up there on an island.
Vanal taken very low, has to rocket jump away.
Yeah, I think that whilst they were getting prio to make proactive plays early on now, I think it's going to be a bit more on who they want to put the gold on to just continue to snowball. And my guess is it would be Vanal on this Tristana, who has already gotten himself 2 kills. He's sitting on the Noon Quiver and the Berserker's Greaves already. And once he gets himself towards that Mythic early on, he's having a hard time at the moment playing 1v2 down here in the bot side with Solvarden making those proactive roams up to the top side for the neutral objectives. But now, so long as they put more gold onto him, then he's just going to be looking to be doing a huge amount of damage once we get to these mid-game fights.
Yeah, I agree. As we see Godix Enemy trying his luck against Evolve Noob, going to grab the ultimate and just walk away. Still, though, at this point in the game, I have to imagine that's a positive trade for the Silas. But look at this wave state for Let's Do Vanal. Because Solvarden had to walk away for a while, he has to sort of just let this wave sit at the enemy tower, and this puts him in a prime position for a gank. You can see that Bo Explode was just hunting for that kill, but is going to ultimately decide to walk away. This could be an explosive battle in the bottom lane, though.
He's still sitting there, actually, because I think he's recognized that he may have read the lane gank that Graviel is now going for, and they are going to even up the numbers here.
In a lot of trouble, going to be burst down very, very low. Bo Explode now trying to finish off the kill, doesn't quite get there, and now the target is onto Graviel. He goes unstoppable, trying to run away, but the bullet time will not quite finish him off. There we go. FFS4 will finally pick up the kill. Incredible play from both junglers to know where they needed to be.
Well, it's tricky because, I mean, I think particularly good from Bo Exploder to read that lane gank and just have the patience to sit there and wait for the play. Luckily there did expend his flash because he was worried about the getting just burst down by this Graviel on this Olaf, who has got quite a lot of damage on him already, as we see just... The top lane at the moment has been a bit of an island. You know, these guys are just trading, but ultimately there isn't much kill threat on either side with the 2 TPs, the grasp. Carrots, though, he's doing very well for himself, honestly. You know, on this Tahm Kench, as you said, he's definitely no slouch. But going back to what I was saying before, you know, the way that Bo Explode is playing this, you said he is one of the best junglers in this league, and he's definitely matching Graviel around the map very effectively. We talked about how Olaf is such a menace in the early game. Obviously, he spec towards it, and Graviel has been trying to
Graviel has been everywhere, and he's coming up into the top.
Yeah, he's going in now. Yeah.
Just going to go ahead and let Fish walk away, but I have to imagine that this is going to be a Rift Herald drop in order to get Carrot some additional gold. And I really like this play, this decision to send the Herald top, because Carrots will eventually hit a point where this set is going to start to really beat him down once they get a couple of items. But if you can keep Carrots ahead of that breakpoint, I think that PTP is going to be in a very happy spot, as we do see Solvarden caught out trying to ward a little bit, is going to get beaten up by Bo Explode, but will safely escape his way into the jungle, so no major play there.
No, and Bo Explode not having the subjugate available there, I think, to be able to extend that, to elongate that, and try to actually put some kill threat down onto this pretty tanky Nautilus. So, in the end, Solvarden is going to be able to stick there fairly, unharmed by all of that. He's going to be able to clear out some vision on the bot side of the river. But we are going to see... Ooh, hang on.
Yeah, a bit of a duel here. Godix Enemy and Evolved Noob continuing to duke it out. He has finished up the Conqueror, but you can see how powerful Evolved Noob can be in these circumstances. Solvarden, though, caught out. Great pillar from Bo Explode is going to leave Solvarden out to dry. He has nowhere to run, trying to walk away, but the Yuumi and the Trundle are too powerful, and now they threaten the dive against Let's Do Vanal, and he has nowhere to run. Oh,
you
man.
already noticed, of course.
He
okay,
hops forward against Rocky.
But...
He's trying to do the 1v1. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Is going to get run around. Godix Anime has arrived to the fight, but is now in trouble. Another great pillar. The flash backwards to try and live. Bo Explode trying to tank it up. The subjugation is not enough.
Oh, wow.
And Bo Explode picks up a huge victory.
And we talked about how Yuumi is such a valuable pick on a jungler that's trying to carry. Well, Bo Explode, I mean, Trundle isn't traditionally a carry jungler, but Bo Explode is making him look like one right now.
And we see the counter dive up top lane does not go well.
No, it's set, notoriously, of course, very difficult to dive. Bo Explode right now, he's sitting absolutely fine. Solvarden, you don't win this, I'm sorry, mate. Oh, wow!
He has the Ignite! He takes out Bo Explode against all expectations. Teleport now coming in from Godix Anime. The follow teleport from Evolved Noob to try and stop this off. Godix Anime not quite sure if he can go in, just going to miss the chains. Jumping forward with Let's Do Vanal, trying to find the kill at Brock Lee, but it's not quite enough. Look at the damage from INT as they completely turn around this fight. Let's Do Vanal, now the last remaining member, is going to have to rocket jump away to safety. Evolved Noob not going to chase.
This is all starting to slip out of PTP's hands now, isn't it? And I'm not gonna... I hate to say it, but it's a little bit of a cat dip right now, my friend. Like, look at the health bars on all of these members who've just been fighting 3v3 in the bot lane. They are healthy as anything. Credit to Solvarden for getting that little bit of burst down onto Bo Explode. I fully cursed that. I was not expecting that to happen. But... yeah, this cat just with the Chemtech Putrefier as well, nullifying a lot of the sustain coming out from this Olaf, this Silas, champions that do rely heavily on their sustain in longer fights in order to get those kills out. And Jeffers is really putting on a clinic thus far. If you look, he's got 100% KP right now on the side of INT. He is definitely making the difference, and it's really going the way of Bo Explode, of Evolve Noob. The champions that you want to have gold on them right now, they are very much sitting on gold. It is in a very comfortable position now for INT, who we talked about already is the champ.
They're trying to find a pick here around this dragon, or around this Rift Herald, and they're going to take Bo Explode very, very low, but he's still just barely hanging on. The flash is forward, will secure it, but look at the MF ultimate! Absolutely huge, secures a kill. Going back, Godix Anime now on his own. Carrots trying to burst down Blockly, will finally secure the kill. Fish Magish now coming in, gonna use the set ultimate to lock up Carrots, but Evolve Noob is completely untouched on the Kassadin, and he is charging forward, but is not going to continue into the tower.
It's crazy, isn't it? You know, you see, obviously, Bo Explode getting caught out in the river there, a little bit of a misstep from him, but as soon as he gets pulled down, they do get funneled into a choke point. Great amount of damage coming out from Blockly there on MF. They tried to burst him down, the Yuumi buying a lot of time, and as soon as he's gone away, in comes Fish Magish and Evolve Noob for a bit of a cleanup, and ultimately, hang on.
Godix Anime trying to find a pill. Fish Magish totally alone, but might get the kill back. Godix Anime taken very, very low, but will finally get that last bit of health. But here comes the reinforcements have arrived, and this is going to be disastrous for PTP as INT comes up in full force. They're charging forward. They're going to get Soul Varden. They're going to get a double kill onto Evolve Move, and they're going to get Prio in the mid lane.
They are, and they're going to be able to take this tower now, completely blow the map open, and it just takes so long for this comp on the side of PTP to manage to get a kill. Fish Magish buying so much time. They're almost managing to trade 1-for-1 in a 1v3. And as soon as he's down, the entire team manages to roam around very sensibly there. And yeah, they just managed to capitalize, taking a 3v1 trade in their favor. And they're getting everything on the map right now. They get the mid tower. They're going to pick themselves up the second dragon of the game. We should note it is an Ocean Soul, which is only going to accentuate the amount of sustain that, well, both of these sides have, but particularly this INT side with the Yuumi. So right now, it really does fall on, I mean, credit to PTP. They are making proactive plays, but every time they do, they just don't seem to have the damage to be able to convert.
Yeah, and tragically for PTP at this stage in the game, being down about 5,000 gold, it's so difficult to find money in order to purchase the heal cut that they desperately need against Bo Explode, Fish, and Jeff. Because they just don't have the money, right? You look at these items, poor Let's Do Vanal still only sitting on just Kraken Slayer and Boots, would really love to have an Executioner's Calling, but just can't find the money and can't find the time to do it yet.
No, absolutely. And you do notice, of course, that poor Grabiel is already, he would love to be building towards that Sterax on top of the Gore Drinker, but he's already having to get himself towards a Negatron Cloak, because as I say that, Vanal's in trouble. Oh,
yeah,
never mind.
Look at that damage from Brock Lee, though. There's a reason why Misfortune's getting picked at Worlds, everybody. Champion
Absolutely.
is nuts.
I mean, Lethality MF, she do be doing a lot of damage. At this point in the game, Bo Explode is fairly fearless now. He does not have a cat on him, but
yeah, he's charging in. Go ahead and use the subjugation. Graviel in a bit of trouble. Traditional counterplick. Bo Explode able to walk this guy down. The flash forward will take out the kill. So much damage. Brock Lee now on the follow. Let's Do Vanal trying to come here to support his teammate. Going to attack over the wall, but he just doesn't have enough damage quite yet. Hopping over, trying to make the play, but the MF ultimate will secure the kill. Double kill picked up for INT, and it's starting to become a slaughter.
Yeah, he even Buster shots him back away from the jungle to give him a bit of a leash back to lane. Very kind of him. I mean, at this point in the game, it's just, I don't know what PTP have got in their favor. You know, they do have to be trying to make proactive picks on the map, but really they've got pushed against them in all three lanes. And I will note now that Jeffers was sitting on 100% KP for most of the game. However, in those last two fights, he has dropped a little bit below that. So slacking a little bit there. It is actually Brock Lee who's now head in terms of overall KP. This MF Yuumi really paying dividends, absolutely. And as I mentioned before, this team are they do have to try to be specking towards. Sorry, that wasn't a great bit of
Trying to go for the
sentencing, but-
teleport flank. Goddess
Yeah, go
Enemy
on.
coming in here, tries to find the hit on Brock Lee, but he doesn't have the damage. He just gets blown up by himself. Now INT has the momentum, but Carrot's trying to do his best to continue to fight. Here comes Evolve Noob, though. The raid boss has arrived. They're going to charge in and do so much damage. They have the Yumi on top of them, and look at that. They're just completely unstoppable. INT is going to clean up this fight, no problem at all, and accelerate to a 10,000 gold lead.
Mad. I mean, credit to Carrots there, who is having a pretty good game on the Tom Kent. She did manage to go and pick up Brock Lee down there in the river, pick himself up a nice 500 gold shutdown. But I mean, it's a shame because even though you do have an accelerated Tom Kent, he's not going to be able to carry a game on his own, unfortunately. And yeah, 10-1, a Kassadin. He's taken a trip to the library now. He's almost got himself the Seraph Embrace upgrade as well. He is utterly gigantic. He is a true problem, and it doesn't get any better because he has got a cat sitting on him. So I have no idea how PTP are going to be able to burst this poor guy down. They do have a decent amount of CC on their side with the Nautilus. I mean, if GodX Anime is able to steal himself something like, the Subjugate to make life a little bit easier for them in that fight. But yeah, I don't know how you deal with a Kassadin this accelerated at this stage in the game. I mean, PTP's side, as we are going to see. Yeah, GodX Anime's got to be careful right here. The entire topside river is theirs.
Yeah, and just look at how aggressive Evolve Noob is able to play. Gonna go ahead and use the Zanyas and just completely lock up Sylvarden and Carrots, and they just don't even get to play the game. They're just gonna be run down trying to defend this area. GodX Anime trying to do what he can to fill out Evolve Noob, but it's just not quite enough. He's able to escape barely with his life. Graviel now going to be the last remaining member in the fight. He's gonna get taken down, and that is a Baron, and I think that we're going to see the game end very shortly.
Nice little moment there. We see Fishmish McGish showstoppering a Ragnarok Olaf, who just ignores him, but it doesn't really matter. And besides what we saw, and what's more, PTP, I mean, they are pulled into quite a desperate point at this time of the game, but trying to get a pick onto this incredibly fake cast and get that 1-key shutdown, they pull themselves again into a choke point, and look who's right behind him. A 2-item, almost 3-item lethality MF who just blows them to pieces with that bullet time. And yeah, that's going to be the Baron, as you say. That's going to be a third dragon picked up for the side of INT. The entirety of the map is theirs. 13k the gold lead right now, and they have full control of the game.
Sylvarden trying to do what he can. He's going to get a hook on Fish McGick, but Sylvarden level 9 to this top laner that's level 14. So not a whole lot of action there. INT going to be very, very happy to spend their gold, but Evolve Noob, man, what a performance on this pick. Has been playing a little bit of Kassadin, trying to prepare for these tournaments and games that really start to matter, and you can see it paying off dividends here. He is spotted up on the board, so Sylvarden and GodX Anime trying to make the play here. Chain's not going to land, though, and he's just going to be able to walk away. But even just look at the Yumi damage on GodX Anime, taking out like a quarter of his health with a single Q.
We should add, this is a Chad Yumi. I am a big fan of Jeffers right now, taking that Luden's Yumi. That is the Chad pick when you're so far ahead in the game that you can have this Yumi, rivaling her AD carry and damage. Obviously, in other games, you might be looking towards that Moonstone. But if you have the opportunity, then the Luden's Yumi is definitely the way forward. As you said, those Qs start really feeling like this shouldn't be, an entirely passive support pick.
Yeah, and look at this Evolve Noob. Just gonna walk him down. Just... Oh man, that's brutal. As a mid lane player, like you just get so much despair when you watch, the Kassadin running at you at Mach speed, and you're like, I can't get out of this. I'm just gone.
Goodness. And we do have to put some credit on the side of. I mean, if you look at the KDAs on the side of INT, as they are going to be able to take this in here, but I don't think that PTP have any sense contesting this. I don't know if they're going to get an opportunity as they keep
It's
going.
gonna get caught out, gonna be taken down very low, trying to fight and defend under the towers, but look at the healing. Evolved Noob just doesn't take damage here. And it looks like INT is going to try and clean up this fight. Godex Anime trying to go in, but Evolved Noob goes golden. Fantastic play from him. Brock Lee gonna be taken low by the tower, now just tanking it up as they secure yet another kill, and that is almost assuredly gonna be the game. INT putting on a dominating performance after, a somewhat shaky early game, but they show that they are here to fight.
A little bit of a reminder why Haymaker's a balanced stability at the end there, but there was quite a serious level discrepancy, so we'll ignore that. But yeah, real solid statement from INT, a pretty massive one at that, and just great performances across the board there from them. Look at this damage right now. We do actually, I think we should pay credit because it was really the Evolved Noob show in later on in that game with the Cassidin. But Brock Lee off roll on this MF. He had the highest KP in the game, outshining even Jeffos on the support, and you can see the amount of damage that this lethality MF is putting down, particularly if she's getting money bullet times like that in choke points. But we do have to note, of course, that with the initial FF, this is already putting INT on match point with a 2-0 up against PTP. So PTP really going to have to go back to the drawing board to bring something out in response to this.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that PTP looked quite good. They looked like they could match INT in the early stages of this game. I think that they're going to need to go back to the drawing board and try to come up with some adaptations because looking at this draft, Evolved Noob's Cassidin and Jeff's Yuumi just seemed completely unstoppable this game. And with their tournament life on the line, PTP is going to have to work real hard to bring this series back to Kiel. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. In just a short amount of time, we are going to be going into game number 3 of the Helios quarterfinals. I can't wait. Don't go anywhere.
I think that PTP have had a very strong start to the season, but they've struggled a bit after roster changes. They've definitely not had the best end of the season. And I think that there is a lot of potential there, particularly with they have some very strong players on the team. They've got Graviel, they've got Vaynor, they've got some people who they can definitely play their game around. I just want to see the whole roster kind of step up and be able to enable those guys who can really pop off. And I think that's going to allow them to succeed in a manner that we haven't seen quite from them yet in the second half of the season. They're just, INT are, they play very well with the base fundamentals that they have, and they clearly synergize well as a team. When they know each other, they know how to play together properly. They just are. There's not much more to say other than they are just individually good players and play to their strengths and don't make as many mistakes as some other players in the league and some other teams. I think that when they are playing on form and with a comp that works, they are as formidable as anyone else in the league. It just falls down to how they draft, how they prepare, and whether they're going to show up the way we hope they will.